I'm so happy to be here because when I was thinking about Building 43, I was thinking about your store and you and how you are building a global brand. I mean, imagine there's a wine store down the street, right? There's wine stores everywhere in the world, but I know about your store.
Sure.
And I know about you because of what you've done on the internet. So first of all, who are you?
Gary Vaynerchuk, as I love to say, because Vaynerchuk's a beast of a name, so I broke it down to 3 syllables. I'm somebody who really loves my family, a whole lot, and very ambitious, and very much a contradiction. I always, in my family, everybody says, you want everything, but you can live with nothing. I'm a true entrepreneur's entrepreneur, you know? The game is so much greater than the toys that we pick up. It's like Zelda. Playing Zelda is more fun than burning the bush.
Well, I'm so happy. We just met your dad, who's still working.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty sizable store. I mean, this is
40,000 square feet.
I haven't been in many wine stores.
Are you going to catch some B-roll, Rocky, there?
Oh yeah, we're going to go downstairs and get some B-roll and stuff like that. But I haven't been in many wine stores this size, this significant. Tell me about your father and
Sure.
where this wine store came from. Just
My
for
dad,
people who don't know.
Yeah, no, of course.
There's quite a few people probably who don't watch your show and don't.
There's a billion people who have no idea. I love that I have some recognition and everybody just assumes people know who I am. 99.9% of the world doesn't know who I am. My dad is my hero. I was born in Belarus, and my mom. I mean, they're a team. My parents. I was born in Belarus.
Do they both work in the store? Or
They don't. My mom always raised us. The fact that my dad positioned my mom to not have to work, even when we came to this country, I'll go way back. I was born in Belarus, former Soviet Union. Now it's called Belarus, former Russia. And we came to the U.S. in '78. My dad had a great uncle that was well off who had a liquor store, and he started working in that store and making $4 an hour, $3 an hour, whatever minimum wage was. We lived in Queens. He drove. They probably lost money in tolls and gas, but they did everything to make our lives better. I came here. My sister was born here 6 months after we got here. It was very tough. It was the Carter years. The economy wasn't that great. And he worked his ass off. I didn't know my dad until I was about 15, 16 years old.
Why not?
He worked every single hour. Truly worked every hour. He legitimately worked every hour. He left at 7, got home at 11. I was young. I didn't see him. And I was, I was a brander. At the end of the day, I think as my story's going to evolve, I think what I'm going to be really known for is branding and storytelling. So what I think I'm good at. I think that's my natural DNA. Even if now that I think back, at 5, 6, 7 years old, my lemonade stands were called Gary's Lemonade. It wasn't a lemonade stand. I already understood innately in my DNA that if I called it Gary's, maybe you'd spend the 25 cents instead of the 15 cents. I understood the value of brand. And I was a funny character. I was already so business savvy, but I was such a scaredy cat in a lot of ways. I think the funniest thing about me, and what really shows, in a lot of ways, I think this has become the snapshot of my life, who I am. I had a lemonade chain business. 5 lemonades in town. I was 7, and I was riding a big wheels because I was scared to ride a real bicycle. So there's all these funny contradictions with me. And so I've always understood brand. I built a large baseball card business when I was in my 10, 11, 12, 13 years. $500, $900, $1,500 a weekend. And when you're in 8th grade, 13, that's big money.
Did your parents push you to do the lemonade stand? Maybe like...
I definitely wasn't. My mom wanted me to do what I was. My mom and I have almost very identical DNA. We're the same. My dad's different than my mom. And so we're definitely very similar. So I think she saw a lot in me. I probably, my mom and her dad, my grandfather passed away before he came to the U.S. I did know him when I was 3. I'm similar to that kind of DNA. I have a lot of my dad's competitiveness and business structure, but a lot of my personality is similar to my mom. So I'm sure she saw in me a lot of stuff that she understood. And even though I was a terrible student, I think my mom always knew deep down that I'd be okay. And my mom started calling me a star when I was 8 or 9. I mean, when I was 15 years old, I thought I was the best looking, smartest, most gifted person in the world. I truly did. And what scares me about that is when you're 15, you're a big boy now. I mean, I wasn't 6. I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school, and I would walk to high school. I was 4'11", and I would walk to high school, and I thought I was the best-looking, smartest sucker in that world, and I was going to be the biggest thing of all time. And that is the enormous skill of what my mom instilled in me.
When did the store become what it is? When
Yeah.
did you know you were out of the poor age and into the...
Probably when I had Nintendo before anybody else. You know, Hanukkah was a month earlier than Christmas that year. So I had Nintendo in '86, the year everybody got it, a month before everybody else. And we were in Edison, we were starting to get comfortable. This was '86. This is when my dad has now become part owner. He went from stock boy to manager to part owner in a very short period of time.
I love America, don't you? The fact that you can do that?
The fact, I mean, if you talk to my dad, like when people hate on America, he wants to fight. He's very different to me. I'm more love, he's more like fight. He wants to kill people because they don't know what it tastes like in Russia, where every word you said could lead to 15 years in jail, where you had to wait 4 hours to get bread. It blows my mind, and it makes me so thankful. And it, you know, it comes across in my talks and my keynotes and my videos. I am so grateful, so ridiculously grateful for the playing field. It's what I love about the internet. I honestly think the internet has made America better. The world is one place, it's smaller, we all know that, but here's what I know. Twitter, Facebook, Flipcam, live stream. You are a flip cam away from your intern crushing your business. That means that once you grasp that thought, you're gonna run a better business. I have changed a lot in the last 5 years because I've gotten involved in this space. I mean, and what does that mean? Cutting out exaggeration. Not bull crapping. You got to get rid of all that stuff because it's on tape and it's scary. And I really am happy. I think the world is more truthful. I think there's more opportunity, and I've been a very thankful entrepreneur. I'm very thankful for what I have, but I have enormous drive to have more.
And tell me where that came from. Where did you think about? I could use this to build a global brand.
Eric Kastner, who just left after being here for 7 years, now works at Etsy. Love you, Eric. And John Casamatis, the big guy that came in here before. These two guys were the lead devs of my wine retail company. I launched WineLibrary.com in 1997. I've always had the view, just like a lot of people. When I saw Twitter in late '06, I knew because I look at the world in one way, through my entrepreneurial goggles. I don't look at anything else. I just don't. I mean, some people might find that bad. Oh, you look at everything in business. I look at the world from entrepreneurialism. I really do. I just look at something and I'm like, how does that communicate? How does that storytell? I'm very into storytelling. It's about why I probably love rap so much. I really think rap is or comedians, Richard Pryor. It's probably why I curse so much when I keynote. I'm inspired by people that can paint a picture. I'm a picture painter in the way I communicate. That's why I think wine works for me so well. It's a complicated subject matter, but I'm able to paint that picture in a way that people can understand. I think that Eric Kastner and John Casamatis, I built WineLibrary.com from 1997 to 2003, and in 02, 03, we were still not in this building. We were in a small office, all 10 of us. I'm building this up. It's going very well. I knew the internet was not a catalog like my fellow retailers in 1997 thought. I knew it was a second location, it was a third location, it was a fourth location, it was a fifth location. I knew what it was. I just knew. And what happened was I started seeing them watching Zay Frank and Rocket Boom. And it hit me. The first day that because they've been watching for about a month because I'm always running around, saw them at lunch watching Zay Frank, I said, that's a game changer. And then I was really into when American Idol came out.
Now, why didn't you try to do Zay Frank? Because Zay does a very strange kind of video, with eyes, and it's way ahead.
I think I get a lot of credit that's unjust for being me. I'm not capable of being anything not me. Yeah. I was a bad student. I can't do things. I can't do a lot of things. I suck. But what I'm good at, I'm really good at. I just wanted to come from the heart and soul. I wanted, if the phone rang or the microphone, you just saw an episode, you saw, whatever happened, that's real, and I tasted that real was going to win, and in 04, 05, and just, real has become the biggest winner of all time. That's helped me very much, because I'm an open book. I talk about my weaknesses, but I always talk about my strengths as well, and that's going to make some people look at me one way or the other, but what I love about my game is that when I finally get to meet people, they get me. They do. Eventually they get me, because I did a video on Vaynerchuk.com, which became my business platform outside of Wine Library TV, called the 80-20 rule. Every relationship you have, give 80%. Take 20. If you run on that formula, you'll have the biggest business of all time, because most people are barely happy to do 50-50.
Yeah.
And I'm uncomfortable with that. To
me, here's where I saw you do that. I show friend feed to a lot of people. I use it on stage, and you see me using
Oh,
it if you watch
we did
me.
a keynote together in Vegas, and I watched you do it.
Yeah.
So.
Most people don't go and use it after I show it to them. You used it immediately. You were engaging with your fans and people. Where does that come from, and what lesson is there for other business people in that?
I believe the greatest thing about social media is the fact that we can eavesdrop on every conversation. I mean, if you talk to a marketer 30 years ago and you said, okay, there's going to be a product, it's going to be free, and you can hear what they think about your brand, they'd crap their pants. They would pay millions of dollars for that. Where it comes from in me is that it's how my whole life has been. I have never lived a day in my life that I can remember where I didn't say, how's that going to make Mom feel? How is that going to make my sister Liz feel? What can I do for AJ? Not that I'm Mother Teresa. I want to buy the jets, which means I need billions of dollars, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a hustler. Promise. That being said, it's completely blended with the fact that if you give, you get. And I'm willing to work so hard.
Yeah.
I have such a good work ethic that I can do it 20 hours a day. I can do giving for 19 hours a day because that
I've seen that up close. We went to Sonoma together, and I watched you taste wine all day long, and then hang out with people all night long, and then do a show at midnight after you'd been all through all that. You know, I was like, and it was an amazing show. You know, you were energetic and in front of an audience. It's like, whoa, this guy has it.
I have a lot of passion. I have a lot of. I got lucky, Robert. Scopes, I got lucky. I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm that great. I just think that there's a couple of things inside of me that my parents gave me DNA-wise that has given me something. And I can't, you can't put your finger on it always, but I really care about people. I know I'm over the top and obnoxious and stuff like that. I know who I am. I know that that's going to bother a lot of people.
But that's why we love you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and it makes a lot of people love me, and it makes a certain segment dislike me, but I know I care about those people, and more importantly, I truly respect them. I get it. I know why. You're right, by the way, for you. I also know that there's a softer side of me, there's a business side of me. My brother and I have started VaynerMedia. It's a very big deal.
We were on the set of Obsessible. Is that
Obsessed TV is another product I do. And Samantha, who's very amazing as well, and her and I are involving in some interesting stuff that's coming as well. VaynerMedia is separate. It's a consulting company. Okay. We're consulting for brands to navigate through these waters. One, because there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in teaching people to do it, and I really know how to do it. When I look at you, when I look at Kay Rose, when I look at Tony Shea, when I look at Dave Warren, when I look at Chris Sacco, when I look at iJustine, when I look at Chris Perella, there's a lot of people who truly built their brand. Those Geek TV guys may be a little bit different because they had the TV play, but there's some definite people who truly built their brand strictly from this space.
Yeah.
We get it. Lots of people get it. Even like I named a lot of people with a lot of followers. There's a lot of people with 100 followers that really get it. And a lot of them, I want them to realize you have a gift. If you know how to use these tools, you have a gift. There's billion-dollar companies that need your skill set. I have a lot of brand equity. I knew I was getting asked to consult quite a bit. We've started a consultancy company. And in that, I've learned a lot of things already. One, that we are at such the beginning of everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so much earlier than people think.
Yeah.
Two, that people are confused.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely, completely dumbfounded that a person that went to Harvard and makes 6 heavy figures to work for a consumer brand product truly believes that television gives them the true metrics when we know that a Nielsen box goes in 1 in every 2,000 homes. What that more, I don't even, it's ludicrous. The fact that they say to me, well, that's not scalable, social media, and I tell them, well, you're spending $14 million on TV buy and you're talking about $100,000. Give me $14 million and I'll show you plenty that can happen on the internet. People are confused, they're scared of change, and most importantly, and this doesn't get talked about, there's a lot of humans that have distinct value in not letting this movement happen.
Yeah.
There are a 59-year-old, and I'm not going to even age discriminate, there are a 29-year-old ad executive who doesn't understand the space, and once the brand sees how valuable this is and they don't get it, they don't become as important.
Yeah.
They understand billboards and radio and television and print. But this is not speaking. This is not going on a podium and giving a presentation. And all those platforms are. This is about cocktail hour and working the room. And that's something that makes brands and people uncomfortable because that's friggin' effort. And a lot of people are not willing to put that in.
No, absolutely true. The other thing is, a lot of people who are in the media business, who have been in the media business,
sure.
old school media business, they don't understand podcast. They don't understand Google. Really good. They don't understand Google. Google happened in '98, right?
Sure.
Blogging happened because of Google, and a lot of them don't understand how people search. Right? I've sat next to normal users in Montana and watched how they use a computer. These people don't understand that.
I totally agree. I think we have, the modern internet, as I call it, my modern internet. I just gave a talk at 140 conference, said the modern internet is 14 years old when AOL started sending out those CDs. And then, of course, the nerds come out, and they're right. I respect. 1969 is, okay, I get it. I know. What do you think? I can't read either.
AOL made billions and billions of dollars.
The internet that we know, the one that Sally, Arkansas lives in, that started in 94, 95. Windows 95 and AOL CDs. That's 14 years old. I mean, this impact, and Twitter and Facebook and
And the ability to put video out on the internet.
I mean, this is laughable.
Well, it's 5 years old.
Right,
And high def, or higher def. It's not even high def, right? It's video,
absolutely.
widescreen.
And
like you have on your blog.
Absolutely. And Twitter and Facebook and all these products get the credit, but it's the platform of the internet as a whole that's the real game changer. Yeah. And more importantly, we haven't had a cultural shift in television yet. Television's very fascinating to me. They always talk about more people watching television than ever. Yeah. Okay, more people were buying CDs than ever until the iPod came out. You need a cultural product, a Napster. You need a cultural product. This whole thing that Boxy's up to, and whether Boxy becomes Friendster or Boxy becomes Facebook, I don't know, but I know that the door is starting to crack. And listen, I love the Jets. I go home. Maybe I'll get lucky and watch SNY, and they'll have some Jets programming, but I'd be much happier to go to Channel 99 and search the Jets, and there's probably a kid tomorrow that, once that happens, will start a show about the Jets, and I'll watch him every day, or her, by the way, and they'll be able to monetize. And when
there's a tip. If you want Carrie to watch your show, do it all about the Jets.
Yes, absolutely. The fact of the matter is this. Once those eyeballs stretch, that $500 million in ad revenue, it's going somewhere. Yeah. The world is on the cusp of such change in media. There's a lot of people that don't want it to change, but none of us are more powerful than technology, and that's just the way it is.
Tell me about the tools that a modern wine store needs to know about.
Every retailer.
You told me like TubeMogul. You said on stage you're an idiot not to know and use TubeMogul.
Absolutely. Why would you not?
Rocky, are you using TubeMogul yet?
Why? I love that. Why in the world wouldn't you want your video everywhere? And the fact that you can upload it one time to TubeMogul and it goes everywhere is the biggest no-brainer of all time. I mean, why don't you want your stuff to be discovered? I mean, of course you embed one of your players, whether it's Vidler or Blip or VO or Vimeo or YouTube, but the fact of, or whatever, but the fact of the matter is that you want to be in play. Yeah. Anywhere you can. But Robert, you know what? Honestly, Scopes, I really believe it's about listening. Every wine store in the world, every retailer in the world should be on search.twitter. That's the gold. Search.twitter, or whatever you want to call it now, search on the side. Yeah. They should be on blog search on Google.
In other words, they should be putting their company name into search.twitter or Facebook or friend feed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing Facebook's missing is I want access to the Facebook Wall Talk API.
Facebook is just adding live search, by the way.
Correct. So you give me that, I'll live in Facebook. There's a lot more people in there right now.
Yeah.
Give me the ability to listen to the conversation. That's what Twitter gave us. Search.twitter is why I like Twitter, not because of Twitter. I love to hear myself talk, but I can do that through an email, through a video. I can do a lot of things. The fact that I can listen as a business and as a brand, that's the gold. Yeah. When I see somebody said in Kansas, Wine Library's shipping rates suck. I was like, really? Weird. I don't think so. So I got in there. She's like, well, in comparison to what wine.com does. I'm like, okay, very fair, because they have a Amazon Prime type play. I'm like, let's talk about what you were thinking about buying. Well, I was going to buy Dry Creek Zinfandel. I'm like, okay, cool. What's wine.com selling for? $16.99. What's Wine Library selling for? $10.99. We're $6 a bottle cheaper. I said, ma'am, I understand you're getting free shipping, but can we factor in the fact that it only costs you $1.50 a bottle, so your net is $11.50 or $12, whatever, and this was $17? And she was like, oh yeah. And it's crazy. Like, not every, there's a lot of things going on. But the fact that 5 years ago I was out, that she said, got tricked by the free shipping and thought it was a better deal somehow because she wasn't willing to take the time to do the homework and price comparison, I was out. She was a wine.com customer. The fact that I now, because of sweat equity and effort and searching, had the ability to talk to her. One, she was blown away that she got to talk to me. Yeah. Two, that I cared enough. 3, that she's saving $4.50 a bottle.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times perception is not reality.
Just this morning, we had a disgruntled customer who wrote me and wrote the chairman of Rackspace. It's a public company. Yeah, this is a public company. You know, 2,500 employees, 2,600 employees, and the chairman answered her back in, I don't know, a few minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, and he saved her. He you know, the fact that somebody pays attention to you at the top level of the company.
It blows people's minds.
And by the way, at all levels of the company, we're
it's
just
it's so unique. Let me tell you one thing that's going on here. I'm about to appoint a social media expert, a consultant within Wine Library. I've been doing it. It gets hard. You start getting all these followers, all these things going on. It becomes less scalable. It's funny. I've been consulting with Vaynermedia for all these people. I don't even have it within Wine Library because I was taking that role. Yeah. So now I'm training girl Kristen, who we hired from Twitter. So she's living it. I'm very excited about it. I'm just ecstatic because I don't catch every, hey Gary, what wine goes with Pinot, you know, with birds anymore like I used to. And so I can't wait to like do it internally here. And that's really been my whole life. It's all about this.
Yeah.
Scratch your own itch. Know what you need, know what you want to do, and that resonates.
What effect has it had on your business? Being
substantial.
Tell me some stories.
You know, we do a lot more business now because of the fame and branding because of Wine Library TV, which cost me my time. We did a campaign late last year where we did direct mail, a billboard, radio, and Twitter on a free shipping campaign. And the other things cost me $7,500 a pop. I did it on purpose for a case study for myself for Vaynermedia in the spring, but I used Wine Library to do it. And I sent out the tweet for free shipping on Twitter, and we got 6 times more response on Twitter, and it cost us. Now, did it really cost us $0? Absolutely not. It was my sweat equity. It was years of everything I did. But at the end of the day, once you get there, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Tell me, if you were a competitor of Wine Library TV, and let's say I was a wine store and I didn't have somebody of your personality, because I hear that all the time. Well, Gary can do this because he's a crazy person who really knows wine.
Shockingly handsome.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you don't have somebody who is really, really charismatic, can you still do this?
Absolutely.
And how?
You've got to fight your medium. Do you think I was excited to watch 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004 go by because blogs were the game? I couldn't write. I can't do this in the written word. Even though I just signed a 10-book deal, I have a ghostwriter. It's not my skill. You know? It's my voice because I dictated the whole book, but it's not my skill. So the fact of the matter is that I lost. I don't want to hear from people tell me all the time, oh, I lost because I'm not as You lost? I waited 6 damn years for video because I couldn't jump into blogger.com and really do it. You know what I mean? So find your medium. If you're not as charismatic in front of video or you're shy, write. And if you can't write or do video, but you have a cool voice, audio it. Plenty of people want to run on treadmills and listen and drive and live and will listen in the background while they work. Find your medium. If you can't communicate in those 3 things, then this is not your space. You'll go do something else.
Yeah. What if you're against? Yeah, I know. What if you're against a TechCrunch or a Gary Vaynerchuk in this space, and you're just as handsome and just as charismatic, but you're late? How can you get a foothold?
Easy. It's happening. Be better or be the same. I truly believe if somebody of my skill set.
My advice is pick a smaller niche and own it.
Agreed.
Because you own wine, I can own.
But if you're as good as me, you'll come in and take some of my wine. I truly believe that.
But I would still say start with Merlot. Own the Merlot.
I've always said that.
Then own Chardonnay.
I think there's a lot of value to that. I always talk about the Pinot Grigio hour. That's when I talk. I always talk about, you know, take that. You can find Santa Margarita. You'll make $100,000 sponsorship for sure. But you know what? I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have. If Gary Vaynerchuk existed now and I wanted to do this, I want to beat Gary Vaynerchuk's face in. That's who I am. So know yourself. Know your tenacity. Know your competitiveness. Know your skills. I would go right after Gary Vaynerchuk right now. I just would. I would sit down and say, this is, you know, Jug Shop TV. Let's go. And let's see what happens. Because there's been 1,400 wine shows that have come out since Wine Library TV.
Wow.
And guess how many are still really around? 00. Robert Parrish. Because you know what? They weren't better. That's why. Not because I was first. I truly believe that.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me. Rock.